What's up, you guys? It's Herpy Derpy. Today I got another battle for you guys. This time it's an OU match, and in all honesty, I just threw whatever the hell I had in my box and just like put it all on one team. My team comp really doesn't make any sense, you can see, but my opponent is using pretty much an all-out rain team, which is really scary. And I just kind of have a Ninetales because I just really don't want my opponents to just set up the weather they want. So really, Ninetales is there just to stop rain from occurring because rain will definitely favor his team more than mine. So I definitely want to try to get rid of that as fast as possible. I figured I might as well lead off with my Omastar because my Omastar is not actually a shell smashing set. It's an entry hazard setting up set, if that's even a set. And he's actually going to lead off with his Jirachi, which I didn't really know what to expect. I'm guessing it's probably Scarfed with U-turn, so I thought he might just go for a U-turn right off the bat, but he actually decides to trick me, probably fearing the Shell Smash coming from me, which is fine, because if I want anything on my team to get rid, to take a Choice Scarf, it's definitely my Omastar. So I'm just going to set up rocks and then just proceed to switch out into my Ninetales, because I'm pretty sure he's going to go for a U-turn right now, so that way he can get a little bit of switch initiative, but that's exactly what he's going to do, and unfortunately he is going to be able to go into his Politoed to cancel out the sun and finally bring in his rain, which is pretty scary. So I figured I might as well go into my Roserade because my Roserade can either take the incoming Toxic or resist pretty nicely the incoming Scald. So he does actually do go for the Toxic, which is great because now my Roserade doesn't need to take any damage and I can definitely scare off this Politoed. So I'm just going to go for the very safe Giga Drain because I didn't really want to overpredict too early, and most Pokemon on this team aren't going to enjoy eating the Giga Drain from my Roserade. And Jirachi takes that, fairly nicely, I guess you could say. But right now, I'm pretty sure that he's going to outspeed me because I know how much speed my Roserade has. So, assuming he's max speed, I know he's going to outspeed me and go for a U-turn, and I'm pretty sure he's going to predict my Sleep Powder and go into his Lapras to take it because Lapras has Hydration, which means that it can take any status and get it cured by the end of the turn. So I'm going to go for the Giga Drain instead, predicting the Lapras switch, and it's going to do a very, very nice chunk to Lapras, which is great, because now the Lapras is basically useless now. It can't really do anything, because it's going to die to the next Stealth Rock switch in. So my opponent's going to save Lapras' Death Water for later, and I'm just going to keep going for more Giga Drains, and I'm actually slowly chipping down the HP on the Jirachi, which is really nice. But I'm going to go into an Omastar now, because I really don't want him to be getting a lot of switch initiative and be having a. I really want to save my reserve for later as well. So I'd rather go into have my Omastar take that U-turn, but he is going to go into his Kingdra, which is really scary because, well, he can't have a Swift Swim Kingdra, but that must mean he has a Sniper Kingdra, which is like that's equally as scary. So I'm just gonna go into my Ninetales to cancel out the range. That way he can't go for waterfalls, and he's gonna be forced to go for outrages, which I'm really hoping will get the confusion on him, and then I can proceed to counterattack. So I'm gonna try to go for the Will-O-Wisp here to try to burn the Kingdra for the rest of the game, but he has a Lumberry, and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. So now he's at 2 Dragon Dances now, and I'm like, well, crap, I need to switch out, and I need to save my Ninetales for later. So I am going to go into my Omastar, who is actually going to be able to live with one of the outrages, which is really nice, because with the bulk I invested in it, it's going to take 2 outrages to take out my Omastar, which means he's 1 turn closer to being confused, and that'll be an opportunity to strike back. So Omastar is going to die, whatever. I'm going to go into my Gliscor now, because I know my Gliscor can live a hit, because my Gliscor is very bulky, but he gets the crit, and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. So my Gliscor, like my one physical wall, who's also meant to take on his Dragonite, dies, so now I'm like, well, that's great. I already lost a lot of guys. So I'm going to try to go for the Will-O-Wisp this turn, hoping he's going to hit himself in confusion. I thank God he does, because if he broke out, I would have lost this game for sure. But I do burn the Kingdra, and now the Kingdra is pretty much useless now, but he does show me that he has the rest, which is like, whatever, that's fine. I actually prefer if he goes for the rest, because that way he's pretty much immobile now because he can't wake up anytime soon. I'm just going for, I went for a Fire Blast here because I assumed he would switch out, but I didn't because I didn't know he had rest. But now that I know he has rest, that's great because my Ninetales actually carries Roar. So I am going to roar out the Kingdra and reset his lead counter, and his Dragonite's going to come in, who is going to break, who's going to have his multi-scale broken because I set up Stealth Rock, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go for Protect, thinking it's a Banded Dragonite, but of course, it's another Dragon Dancing Pokemon on his team, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 this is bad. So, I'm gonna let my Ninetales die, because I need to fodder something, and I need to fodder off my Ninetales because you know what? I'm like, whatever. You can have the rain. I don't really care anymore because as long as your Kingdra's down, like, your Kingdra's basically dead, so your Lapras is almost dead. That's really the only Pokemon that can abuse rain on his team. So I am gonna go to my Lucario, who I know can live one Outrage, which is nice, and I can fire back an Ice Punch, which will kill the Dragonite. So I'm very, very glad I did carry Ice Punch for once in my life because it helped very much so this battle. Donphan's coming in, and I know I can't take out Donphan in one hit, and I really would like to save my Lucario for later, just in case I need some extreme speeds, so I am going to decide to go into my Roserade as fodder now, and surprisingly I do live the Earthquake, which is really odd, but that doesn't really matter because the Roserade is going to die to the Ice Shard that the Donphan definitely has, so whatever, that's fine. It's looking really bad for me, but I do have a small little plan. So it's about time I finally brought in Jolteon, and luckily for me, my Jolteon actually does pack the air balloon, which is great, because now this Donphan is forced to go for the Ice Shard in order to break the air balloon before he can go for an Earthquake, and that's actually, like, that's perfect for me, because I really only need one turn to go for Hidden Power Ice and break this Donphan sturdy. That's excellent, because now the Donphan is very susceptible to my Jolteon, and now it's going to die if I go for another Hidden Power Ice. So he's going to try to go into his Jirachi to absorb the Hidden Power Ice, but he's not going to take that too well, and in all honesty, the crit really didn't matter, because I can easily change moves and go for a Thunderbolt instead, and I just went for another Hidden Power Ice here, because I knew it would kill the Jirachi, and just in case he decided to switch back into Donovan to take the T-Bolt. But now, this Jirachi's dead, the Lapras is now finally going to die to the Stealth Rock switch in, which is great, and he's going to go into his Politoed now. I was really scared this might be a Scarf Politoed because it was Scarfed and I would lose, but he's not Scarfed, which is great, so I'm just going to go for the easy Thunderbolt, and that is going to kill off the Politoed. And this is looking really nice for me because he doesn't have any Pokemon left. He has a Donphan that's pretty much dead because he can't outspeed me, and he also has a Sleeping Kingdra, which is not going to be able to do anything for a few turns, and that's plenty of time for my Jolteon to set up, not to set up, but just to fire off a few T-Bolts and kill the Kingdra. So it is going to be the game. A little bit of a weird game, I know. Not really the game you would expect, but oh well, like that. I mean, it was definitely very interesting trying out Jolteon. That wasn't choiced, but too bad I never really got to use Agility Baton Pass. So like, whatever, that's fine. You'll probably see that in the near future, and yeah. So basically, that's it for the day. Remember, if you sign up for my tournament before, leave a comment. Checking in, and if you haven't signed up for my tournament, feel free to do so in the past video before. So yeah, this is Herpy Derpy. Signing out. See you guys later.